so great to see you all here, to see the celebration that you're going through right now. It's absolutely wonderful. As you know, I'm on a cross Canada tour now, hoping to get a movement started to get our Constitution changed to enshrine the right to a healthy environment, clean air, clean water, clean food that comes from the soil, as something that we in Canada, we believe that it's our right to have these things, and we want our Constitution to reflect that. And if the places that we've been to so far are any indication, I think that this is a no-brainer. It's going to happen. So thank you for being part of this. I think, will we have forms here to have people sign up? Okay, over at our booth, please sign up over there and become part of this movement. I just wanted to say just a few words about why this kind of event is so important. You know, in 1900, there were 2.2 billion people in the world. And if you look at a map of Canada in 1900, the reality is that most Canadians lived in little villages sprinkled all across this country. If you look at the prairies, which was the agricultural heartland of Canada, there were just literally hundreds of communities that were 150, 200 people living in them. And these were very, very self-contained. They'd have their own butcher, their drugstores, their hospitals. I mean, this is the way we lived in Canada and around the world. The vast majority of people lived in rural village communities because basically we were a farming animal. And farmers understand very, very well that weather and climate directly related to how well we do from year to year. Farmers understand that the amount of snow in the winter is directly related to the amount of moisture in the soil in the summer. Farmers know that insects are critical to pollinate flowering plants. They understand that certain plant species fix nitrogen from the air as fertilizer in the soil. Farmers understand that we are a part of nature and utterly dependent on nature for our health and well-being. But we went in 100 years, when the population of the planet tripled to 6 billion people, we went through this amazing shift in the way we live. From a farming, agricultural village species, we went to a big city dweller. So that by the year 2000, over half of all people around the world now lived in big cities. 85% of us lived in big cities in Canada, in cities like Toronto. And when you think about how we've arranged Toronto, I have a friend that lives in the north part of Toronto in an air-conditioned high-rise apartment building, and he goes down the elevator into the basement, gets into his air-conditioned car, drives down the Don Valley Freeway into the basement of his commercial building, up into his air-conditioned office, and as you know, those buildings are all interconnected through tunnels. And he said to me, you know, David, I don't have to go outside for weeks. That's the kind of habitat that we've built. We've separated ourselves and so from the real world. And so it's not a surprise then that in a city our highest priority becomes our jobs, because we need a job to earn the money to buy the things that we want. And the economy achieves a dominant position in our lives. And I think that is why we face a situation where we now think, oh, well, we can't do anything to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. That'll destroy the economy. And so we now know that that kind of attitude is resulting in a change in the chemistry of the very air that we depend on for our well-being and our lives. So we need to have a greater balance in the way we look at the world and realize that things like clean air, clean water, clean soil have to be a high priority that we guarantee in our country. I keep telling well, I had I can tell this story. I won't tell you his name. The CEO of a big company in the tar sands in Alberta called and asked if he could come and see me. I said, great, come on down. So the next day he flew to Vancouver, and I met him at the door, and I said, "Now, I'm so happy you've come. Thank you." But I said, before you come in the door, I want to leave your CEO agenda and your company outside the door. Please come into my office as a human being, and I want to meet you as a human being. Because I don't want to negotiate about the environment or your business. I want to ask you, what do we agree? What do we agree are our most critical needs? Well, I could see right away he was very, very uncomfortable. Because he had really come as the CEO of an oil company, he had come to negotiate with him. And I said, "Mr. CEO, what do you think is the most important thing for every human being on earth?" He didn't know. I said, "If you don't have air for 3 minutes, you're dead. If you have to breathe contaminated, polluted air, you're sick. Please, Mr. CEO, can we both agree the highest need we have is clean air?" Well, he had a hard time. He had a hard time with that. And then I said, if you don't have water for 3 days, you're dead. If you have to drink polluted water, you're sick. So can we put water up there along with air? And then I said, well, some people like me could probably go 6 weeks without food, but most people would probably conk out after 4. We need food, and most of it comes from the soil. So can we put clean soil and food up there? Can we agree this is the basis of our survival, our health, and our happiness? He didn't do that. He didn't cheer and say, "Yes, David, I'm with you." But this is what we have to do, and this is what the Blue Dot Tour is all about. To put the highest priorities there, to say this is the basis for our lives in Canada, and it's important enough for us to put it in our Constitution as an amendment. Thank you very much for joining me. Thank you. So Desmond Ripley, are you here? Whoa!